Hello, I'm Sister Nettie, one of the nuns here at Mississippi Abbey, and I'm happy to be here to share with you something of how the pandemic is affecting me. Even though we're cloistered nuns and have a lot of solitude and silence and separateness from the world, we are still very connected with each one of you on many levels. We know that the loss of social connections has been and continues to be very hard for most people, and even after 6 months, most still cannot connect in their usual ways. The isolation many feel is real and very difficult. Even here in our monastery, we feel this. And because we can't have guests, this includes our family and friends and those who want to come here on retreat. So we look inward to find meaning and something positive to support us. For example, as I read of the many crises that affect our nation, the pandemic, the racial hatred and violence and injustice, the many natural disasters, and the political polarization, I am finding a greater awareness in me and a challenge to let this awareness grow even more. This awareness is a more deep-seated, rooted kind, not an anxious and fearful kind of awareness. I guess it is rooted in awareness of God, that in all this we are enfolded in God's love. No one has to go through this alone. We are meant to be aware of God, to walk with Him. In the Bible, in Genesis, we read that God created us in His image and likeness, and that God would walk with Adam and Eve in the garden in the cool of the day. Then we started hiding from Him. God didn't leave, we did. So one positive result that could come from our crisis could be that we have time to walk with God. We can take time to read Scripture and to share with the Lord our thoughts, our anxiety, and our suffering. He really wants us to open ourselves and our lives to Him. When we don't have 15, 20, or 30 minutes for this, we can still take a heartfelt moment of longing, an arrow type of need, praise, or gratitude that will do us a world of good. A relationship with God is similar to any other relationship. We have to put ourselves, all we have, into it. Another positive result of these days is hearing about the many people who are doing what they can to help others. They are showing real love and concern for those worse off than themselves. Our ability and capacity to love, have compassion, and give ourselves for the good of others is a reflection of humankind's being made in the image of God. That image we always have, that capacity for God to live in us. Our likeness to God, on the other hand, is developed by the choices that we make every day. To live for others, or for ourselves. I keep thinking about that in our everyday life, and I hope that I can grow in loving my sisters that I live with. God's love was poured out on us when He created us and when He gave us Jesus. God's love never stopped. Jesus is Lord and is with us every moment. Many right now are putting their lives on the line and serving others that is heroic. This fills me with gratitude to see such goodness. I am just as grateful for the millions, the hundreds of millions of people around the world who are giving themselves in everyday little ways to their families, neighbors, and the forgotten that exist in every community. It is the same for you and me. It is how we treat each other in the moments of life, the little moments of life. It is how we treat ourselves, that deep place within us that needs to love and be loved by God and by others. I am learning how much I need the Lord and others, and I believe this is true of all of us. I love the verse in St. Paul's second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, to show that the transcendent power belongs to God and not to us. We are afflicted in every way, but are not crushed. So let us help each other as we are able to rebuild our lives. My prayers and the prayers of all of us here at the monastery are for each one of you, and we need your prayers for us.